Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Burrow in no order. Who is the fifth? So, Key, who are your top 5 quarterbacks?
Well, Mawson and his son is correct in terms of those 4 guys, but I would slide Jalen Hurts in above Joe Burrow. When you think about these quarterbacks on this list, there's only one guy that's won a Super Bowl out of the top 4. And then if I add Jalen Hurts in there, he'd be the only other guy outside of Patrick Mahomes to win a Super Bowl on top of a Super Bowl MVP.
And he beat Patrick Mahomes.
And he beat Patrick Mahomes. So I understand Randy and his son's thought process and all this, but Joe Burrow is going to Jalen Hurts is going to bump Joe Burrow for me. And I'm going to slide him into the 4th spot. Be quiet, TJ. It's not hate. I'm just saying.
Well,
I can't believe this.
TJ, who are your top 5?
But think about what I just said, though, TJ. He's the only one. Him and Mahomes are the only 2 on the list that has won a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP.
He has a great team. He has a great team. Yeah. If Keyshawn Johnson...
We get ready to do that.
Keyshawn Johnson, the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles...
No, we're not going to do that.
If I say,
no, we're not going to do that.
Mr. Johnson, I have a proposal for you. I want to trade Joe Burrow for Jalen Hurts. You're going to say, right, you sure? Okay, send it.
No, I'm not. No,
yeah, you are.
No, I'm not.
Then you're going to lose your job if anybody finds that out.
I've been to 2 Super Bowls with this young man. I've been to the playoffs every single year. He's been a full-time starting quarterback. 2 Super Bowls.
If Joe Burrow was a quarterback, I would have won 2 Super Bowls.
Because I ain't running the same type of offense. He can't do what that young man can do with football.
Yes,
no,
he can.
Can't.
Yes, he can.
Not with it tucked underneath.
He ain't going to have to do that. He ain't going to have to do that.
All right.
A.J. Brown going to be sitting on that sideline without the book, smiling. Yeah, let's go to the next possession. Yeah, he going to be ready.
I'm not trading my Super Bowl quarterback for a quarterback that hadn't won a Super Bowl. I'm not doing it.
Jalen Hurts can play, but he ain't Joe Burrow.
I never said he was.
But you said you would take him over Joe Burrow.
For that Philadelphia Eagle team, 1,000% for me.
Who do you got in your top 5, Paul?
I have a lot of the same.
Well, you got to give us a 5.
So, for me, I'm going to go with a young guy that's ascending, and y'all going to give me, y'all might not like, I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud.
So you're going to take C.J. Stroud over Jalen Hurts?
I just feel like, listen, number one, Jalen Hurts is on a great team. I mean, look at his team. You got the best O-line. You got the best D-line. You got a great secondary. You got great receivers. You got the best running back. You put one of these quarterbacks in that offense, they doing the same thing.
Did Carson Palmer make you, or did you and Chad make Carson Palmer?
It was we worked together.
Oh, but they don't work together.
Yeah, they work together. I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Philadelphia, they don't work together.
It goes hand in hand. But there was not one time that I sat on the bench disappointed in what was going on. When A.J. Brown is sitting on the bench, it ain't because reading a book. It's so that he can stay sane so he don't go off on somebody because he's not getting the ball. Yeah, that's why he's doing that.
But that ain't necessarily on Jalen Hurts, though.
Who is on?
It could be on play calling. It could be on a million different things.
Hey, you know the play calling. Oh, I'm going to throw to my guy. He ain't had the ball thrown his way in a while.
But I ain't going to pin it on Jalen Hurts. I ain't going to do that.
Well, I took a different approach because I'm looking at it like, look, if I had to start my team today, of course, I'm going to put all the guys in the top 4 that's there. Mahomes, Burrow, Allen, Lamar. But for me, that 5th spot, I'm going young. I'm going Jaylen Daniels. And I'm looking at it like this. I love Jalen Hurts, Super Bowl champ, 2 Super Bowls. But if I'm saying this, like if I put Jaylen Daniels on any of these other teams as quarterback,
see?
I'm telling you.
I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man.
This dude was in the MVP conversation.
As a rookie.
As a rookie. He was one of the most efficient players through like 8 or 9 weeks. I was once upon a time in the
MVP conversation, too.
As a rookie, though? As a rookie.
I was in the conversation.
I mean, his upside is tremendous, Key. And I actually picked Washington to win the division this year, so we're going to see a lot this year from these two moving forward. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. Passing Andrew Luck, most offensive yards by a rookie, including playoffs in NFL history. It's going to be a disappointment if this kid don't win a Super Bowl in his second year. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen, that might be a disappointment if we talking about a second-year quarterback not getting to the Super Bowl based on the bar he raised as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He raised the bar so high, and it's like, damn, what can he do next? You're just like, hey, he got to win a Super Bowl now. And I know it's unfair, but this is sports, and this is how we look at it. Like Michael Jordan came in and averaged like 30 points a game. It's like, first year, it's like 28 a night, I believe. And it was like, this is a rookie doing this? I got to go with him as my fifth best quarterback. I love a lot of these guys you can put in this slot. C.J. Stroud, Love, Stafford. You can put a number of guys in this slot, but for me, it's Jayden Daniels.
I'm going to have to agree with Key on this one. It's Jalen Hurts. Jalen is still a very young quarterback, and we kind of are overlooking, I think, what he's accomplished. We go right to wins and losses with quarterbacks all the time. But for some reason, with Jalen Hurts, we move the goalposts around so that we can fit
goalposts in the parking lot with him. It ain't even in the stadium nowhere. Y'all didn't put it in the parking lot.
I mean, he's made the playoffs every year as a starter. He lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl and then won the next time that he saw them in the Super Bowl. Lamar has had a really, really, really good team for multiple years that he's been the starter. He unequivocally has a great coach. He usually has a really good defense. I'm not going to penalize Jalen Hurts for playing for an organization that is continuously trying to get better. Like, that's what I do.
That matters so much. You know this.
It matters.
You were the first pick of the draft. If you get drafted to another team, you're going to have way more production and way more accolades, and you know it.
Yes, I didn't have a quarterback. I could have done the same thing, but he has a quarterback. He's a quarterback. Give me Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Give me Jalen Hurts.
See, this is the thing. When you do comparisons,
give me Jalen Hurts.
It's as if you're putting. I don't think Jalen Hurts is a terrible quarterback. Jalen Hurts is very, very good as a player.
He's been to two
He's
Super
very
Bowls
good as a
and
player.
won one.
But when you look at his offensive, let's just go on the offensive side of
two.
Go on the offensive side of the ball. You got the best running back in the league.
So
no, that matters. You have two receivers. By far, the best offensive line.
I just can't with these people.
So just your offense alone. Everybody's in the top five.
Literally.
Who else has that? Who else has that?
Literally, every quarterback that wins Super Bowls, they got players around them. Jerry Rice. What are you going to say? Joe Montana wasn't good?
No, I'm not going to say that. Now,
Ricky Waters.
Hold up.
Roger Craig. Emmitt Smith. Michael Irvin. Everybody's good.
Go to the Kansas City Chiefs last Super Bowl.
Travis Kelce is good.
Travis Kelce, and then who else?
And then,
offense.
And then
who else?
An emerging young rookie in Rasheed Rice was hitting on all cylinders.
But
the offensive line was solid.
They don't have the best running back. They don't have two of the top 10 receivers. They don't have the best offensive line. They don't have a top 3 defensive line. Like,
you pointed to one team that 1 year, but every time, I say it again, teams that win Super Bowls got ballers. If you go, and she'll reach over here and punch me, to Tom Brady's last Super Bowl, hell of a defense, Bucky and receivers, Leonard Fournette at the running back position. Think about everybody.
When Leonard Fournette is a great back. Man, that's like comparing apples and beans.
But for that game, no.
It's not unfair. That's just what Jalen Hurts is in. That's not his fault.
Can we just put Patrick Mahomes on the other side? Like, can we just all agree that Patrick Mahomes is an outlier?
Yes, but he's the only one that's won a Super Bowl that's on this list, so that's why I brought him up.
No. I put him on.
No, Jalen Hurts.
I put Jalen Hurts on this.
I'm talking that wasn't on Moss's.
So why don't we put Jalen Hurts behind Mahomes then, if that's the case?
I could do it. I could do it a million different ways.
If we judging it off in Super Bowls, and he's the only one that won a Super Bowl besides, why are we saying Josh Allen, Lamar,
Joe
Burrow are ahead of them?
Moss is saying that those are the 4. And I think going into this year, we would have all agreed with that. But now, unequivocally, you have to put Jalen Hurts in the top 5, whatever order you want to put.
Yeah, whatever order you want to.
But
We
why
know
did
Mahomes is one.
Obviously, he's not in Moss's top 5 because he would have been like, these are top 5. It's Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Burrow.
So that's
Who is the top
that's
5?
the end-all be-all? Is that the end-all be-all? Because he said it?
No.
That's his list.
But this is the majority. This is what the majority of people
No, that's what
believe.
him and his son said.
I believe it.
I don't believe it. She don't believe
Mr.
it.
Pierce believes it also.
Miss Taylor don't believe it. Mr. Johnson don't believe
Where
it.
do you, aside from this, where do you put Hurts? Where do you put him at?
He's in the top 5 to me.
He in the top 5.
So he's number 2 or is he
So
5?
here's how I look at it.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's how I look at it. Like she said, I'm putting Mahomes in the refrigerator. That's
Okay.
a lock on it. Now, you can mix and match
So
however you
now
want
it's
to.
Jalen Hurts and
If you want to, I would probably put him at 2 based on his ability to take his team to the Super Bowl twice, regardless to what he thinks the roster looks like. Because every single quarter, I'll say it to you again. Say it to you again. The greatest show on turf. Marshall Faulk. Come on now. Every team got players.
I see what you're saying.
So when they won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, does he go where he jumped? Where should he have jumped in the top 10? I'm saying he won the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl.
You playing now, man.
But he
You playing games now.
He won the Super Bowl.
He won 3 damn regular season games or whatever, maybe 2 regular season games.
He won a Super Bowl.
TJ,
stop.
I'm just saying, like, I like Jalen Hurts. I do. I like Jalen Hurts.
So where do you think Jalen Hurts ranks in quarterbacks then? Because you've got C.J. Stroud ahead of him. You've got Jaden Daniels ahead of him.
I'd probably say him and Jordan Love is right after that, so probably 8 or 9.
What? Illegal.
That's me. That's me. Because I feel if you put those quarterbacks with that talent, they're going to give you the same thing. I'm telling you.
Stop, man.
And y'all know that. Y'all know that.
I agree.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you.
Agree.
All right.
I'm just saying, out of the last, think about this, out of the last, say like 10 years, Super Bowl, where does Jalen Hurts rank as the quarterback?
For win?
For the last 10 Super Bowl champs.
Man, you asking me to dig in my brain now.
Like you got Mahomes got 3 of them, right?
So you got
Brady
in there. And then you got Stafford in there.
Stafford, older Manning maybe?
Manning's in there. Like, where does Jalen Hurts rank amongst them?
Feel like I'm going to get Brady again.
You know what I'm saying?
It's probably only 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Where would you put Jalen Hurts out of that list?
He'll be the last one out of that list.
He'll be the last one out of that
He'd be above Foles.
Oh, for sure. We agree with that one.
But Nick Foles, I'm not even mentioning Nick Foles now.
Because it was a team.
Listen,
it was a team.
We're not warmed up enough for this list stuff yet. Get to us in the D block. TJ, who needs to get their deal done first, Micah or TJ?
They got to get Micah Parsons done. The Cowboys did this with Dak Prescott. They did this with CeeDee Lamb. Now they doing it with Micah Parsons. Pay him a lot now or pay him a lot more later. I don't understand what the Cowboys are waiting on. What's the holdup? The Steelers are going to be a great defense with T.J. Watt. They're going to be a great defense without him. And Micah Parsons, they move him around a ton. They move him around.
Are they going to be a great defense without TJ?
I don't know about that one, TJ.
Yeah, they're going to be a great defense. Highsmith, one thing with the Steelers, they going to find pass rushers.
They're 1-11 without him.
They draft pass rushers and receivers very well. They going to find some pass rushers and receivers. That's what the Steelers do.
But they didn't draft any.
They might find some. You ain't going to never replace what he can do.
This year, they don't have anything.
You can get somebody that's going to help.
They didn't go into the season with the mindset that they're going to have to replace him for a short period of time.
Man, they
didn't bring a guy in.
Knew this dude wanted to be paid.
Yeah, but they didn't address it, is what I'm saying.
They may have addressed it. We just don't know.
Yeah, but I'd rather
roster that can. You're not replacing that. But you want somebody that can just hold up. He going against the right tackle, which when we were playing was the lesser tackle. Outside of Lane Johnson, T.J. Watt is going against the lesser tackle. So you saying he
don't ever flip?
Never. Never. The Steelers don't do that. He's always on the right tackle. Always. So I'm going to say Micah Parsons gets done because you can't have 2 years in a row. Training camp is in a few weeks, and CeeDee Lamb holds out last year. Micah Parsons going to hold out this year. They got to get this done.
Yeah, I feel like Micah's closer to getting done than T.J. Watt just because T.J. Watt's number is so far off from where he wants to be, even on an average. Because, you know, I'm talking about the guaranteed money.
Yeah.
Even on an average, it's far off. Because Myles Garrett is what? He's at 40 million. 40 million. And
Average
they offered him,
value.
they averaged it, and they saying they giving him 34.5, 35. That's a $5 million swing. So when you look at it from that standpoint, they can make up that number, but if you make up that number, that means that the guaranteed money getting ready to go up. And if that's not really what they want to do, it's going to take a minute to get that deal ironed out and get it done. Where we've already heard Jerry Jones come out several months ago and say, we pretty much got the thing wrapped up. We just need to dot our I's and cross our T's. So that tells me right then and there, they're much closer to getting it done in Dallas than they are in Pittsburgh.
Paul?
It has to be Micah. Like, it's a no-brainer. Listen, Dallas has a practice of doing this every year, like every single year. We know, you know the crazy thing about it, we talking about this every year. Both of them going to get their deal done. Both of them need to be in camp. It's just about, I don't know if one of them is jockeying over the other one, like T.J. Watt, or maybe it's what you say, Key. Michael's farther along, T.J. Watt, you know, he looking at Jamar Chase and like, you know, I need to be somewhere around there. And if I'm Pittsburgh, I really would look into, like, possibly for a trade.
They're 11-1 with him in the lineup,
I get it,
man.
but if I can get more pieces than have to pay T.J. $40 million a year at the age of 30, Micah's he's young still, 26. I don't know if T.J.'s Watt's best days are behind him. He's still effective. He's still productive.
He had 11.5 sacks.
Yeah, he's still productive.
6 fumbles.
Yeah, he's still productive. I'm saying that. But he's had better years. We know that. And so, and saying that, if you can get a low for him while you hold now, because listen, Pittsburgh's going all in, right? You get
like
Rodgers, DK. Like, why y'all playing around? Y'all want to get camp started. You don't want no holdouts. And if this is going to be the beginning of the end for the Pittsburgh Steelers and Mike Tomlin, let's get it done and get it over with.
I think Micah's deal will get done first because it seems like it's in a better place than Watt. But as far as what Watt deserves to be paid, like if he deserves to be paid at the top of the market, he is going to be 31 in October. So he's 30 now, he'll be 31 mid-season. This, like, idea that he's falling off is crazy to me. Yes, he had fewer sacks, but that's not the only metric that he is evaluated by. He had 19 sacks last year. He had 11.5 this year. So, yeah, there was a drop. But he played in the same amount of games as he did last year. He had 1 fewer interception. He had 1 interception last year. He had 6 forced fumbles. He led the league.
That's what I just said.
In forced fumbles.
How you don't want that?
Well, I mean, listen, sacks are obviously important, but that's also important. Fumbles and turnovers are very important. He had slightly fewer quarterback hits than he did last year. Same amount of tackles for loss. Like, did his production go down a little bit? Yes, but he's still a top player in the league, and they do not win without him.
You paying him Myles Garrett money?
I'm paying him around that.
I'm not.
Why?
I don't think he's Myles Garrett.
Well,
that's how I would be as a GM. Are you better than him? No, you're not getting that money. That's how I would be.
Be my GM. I would have quit.
That's how I would be. Nah.
I'd have quit.
Well, whether he's necessarily better than Myles Garrett or not, I think you're only really looking at the age. He's number 1 in every metric since he entered the league in 2017. Number 1. Number 1 in sacks, number 1 in quarterback hits, number 1 in pressures, number 1 in tackles for loss, number 1 in forced fumbles. And we actually see him win games for the Steelers.
T.J. Watt is a baller. I'm not discrediting that. It's some
Plus, Myles Garrett will be 30 in December.
There's some type
He's
of
1 year younger than him.
There's some type of disconnect, though, because Paul said it. The Steelers are going all in. When you sign Aaron Rodgers, you trade for DK, and then you trade for Jaylen Ramsey, you all in. The fact that they haven't signed him to an extension shows me they're leery. They not all in like we think they are.
But that's Pittsburgh.
Do you think he deserves to be paid at the top of the market?
I would put him slightly under Myles Garrett. I'm not giving him more than Myles. I'm giving him Max Crosby-ish money. That's where he gonna fall for me.
But you do understand every organization is different on how they pay players, though.
Yeah,
TJ?
yeah.
And Myles Garrett was in a different situation in Cleveland.
Completely different.
Cleveland had to pay him that number. They literally had to.
And that's the problem now
He
because
literally had
he
to.
wants the money that Cleveland had to pay.
They had to pay.
The Steelers don't have to pay this.
Right.
Yeah, but you don't have Myles Garrett. You have me. And I want my money. And if you don't give me my money, then that 11-1 going to stay there at 11-1, and that 1 going to raise.
He going to play.
I'm sure he going to play, and they going to work it out.
And he going to be.
Pittsburgh, the Steelers
you
just
know
have
the
a history
Steelers,
of not paying people.
Once training camp is over, they do no negotiating during the season.
Yeah, and they have a history of not paying people.
They better get on it. But they all in. If they all in, let's give him $37 a year and let's go.
They not winning without T.J. Watt.
No, they not. I don't believe so.
But they can figure out. I mean, if I'm him, which I don't know if he's thinking this way, but all I care about is guaranteed money. I don't care about the average.
We know you only
Can
care
you
about
afford?
the
As a team, though, can the Steelers continue to put so much money on the defensive side of the ball? Defense is not.
They don't. What difference does it make? You got one. You got one year with Aaron Rodgers.
Defense is not the reason they're losing. It's offense.
Right.
Defense is not the reason they're losing. It's offense.
Right now. You only have Aaron Rodgers for a year.
But the defense is the reason they're winning, and games are close. Is because of the defense.
But they not winning the game.
Yeah, because they need Aaron Rodgers to get them those little bitty games and those little bitty yards and touchdowns that the other quarterbacks couldn't get them. The defense is doing what they're supposed to do with him in the lineup.
Paul, you think he deserves to be paid at the top of the market?
This is what I think about every athlete. They deserve to get paid whatever.
The team was willing to give them.
Somebody's willing to give them.
Whatever they willing to give him. I'm never going to reach another man's pockets. Whatever they willing to give him, that's what he deserves. And if they want to give him $40 million a year,
we need Paul Pierce, the GM, though.
God bless his soul. Because, you know, this is you got to understand, we got a short window as athletes. And I don't blame him. This is his last big contract. He got to go for it. So you got to sit out. I mean, I understand what he's doing. This is it.
I can manipulate the numbers to get him to 40 if that's really what he wants. If he would just want his average to be 40, we can do that. That's easy.
But
that's not hard at all.
If Keyshawn Johnson's age, you worried about that guaranteed money.
I want the guaranteed money.
But if you want to get the 40, yeah, we can do that.
Because that's what he says, right? It's not enough guaranteed money. That's what the TJ is saying. It's not enough guaranteed money. The guaranteed money's got to come up. The average, I could put 2 more years on the deal to make the average look great. Yeah, to raise the average.
It's such a disconnect because TJ Watt is good, and he's available. It's not like he's a guy that misses a ton of games. He's playing with me. Like, he's not missing games. But if a deal isn't done and they know what
they'll get it done.
They did the same thing with Cam Hayward, and he took somewhat of a discount to remain a Pittsburgh Steeler, and they're hoping he's going to do the same thing.
Maybe he will.